just make sure to be extra loud because there's gonna be more. Right with the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JDTV and welcome to Jamesville-DeWitt High School for this basketball game between the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams and the Fowler Falcons. My name is Michael Meskos, one of the many voices of the Red Rams, alongside my color commentary partner, Ian McIntyre. Ian, how you doing?
I'm super pumped to be here tonight, Mike. You know, this is our second game this week. Could not be more excited to be watching high school basketball on a Friday night.
Absolutely. JD is coming into this game off a huge win against Cortland just a couple days ago that we also covered on this channel. They are 2-4 on the season, going against Fowler, who are 3-4 on the season after a couple huge losses, but a couple impressive wins as well. Ian, what's one thing that you are looking forward to in this game?
You know, this is another huge opportunity for JD to get a crucial league win. One thing I'm looking for is them to start out the game way hotter than last week. Against Cortland, they came out the gates very flat, but they need to do better and come out the gates firing like they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, we saw in the second half, Jamesville-DeWitt's three-point shooting really, made that game for them. In the first half, they were just dead cold, could not get any offense moving, but after Stickle and Ian Delpha started to heat up a little bit more, we really saw a big turning point for Jeff Ike's team. So I'm excited to see how this goes out. We will get to the tip-off in just a second. And I'd just like to take a second to mention the other JDTV crew members that are on this broadcast with us. We got Aaron Coe on the camera. We got Will Cooper and Luke McQuaid handling stats here. So the biggest booth of the season so far and a perfect time for that to happen. As we are about to get underway here, we'd like to once again remind you that we do have a comment section here on YouTube. If you'd like to say something, maybe give us some insight, maybe ask us some questions, maybe tell us just something about this game that you're enjoying, please feel free to do so. And if you say something that we like, we might as well just say it on air. And here is Trent Hughes against Spencer Wellington on the tip. And it will be a Fowler ball to get this game underway. And Ian, what are you thinking right now about this Trent Hughes and Spencer Wellington matchup? Really one that will define the game.
Yeah, Mike, you stole the words right out of my mouth. Something I was just going to mention. The two tallest guys on the court. We should be in for a treat tonight. And there is number one, Ponce Williams from the corner. Misses the three so badly, hits the side of the backboard. Not even close right there.
And here comes Ian Delpha bringing up the ball for the first time. We're seeing Alan Zanders in the lineup today, something we did not see in the game against Cortland. And he gets right off on the right foot, gets his first bucket of the game, and that is 2-0 JD. Alan Zanders with the take.
Yeah, if Zanders can get going, this JD team is very dangerous. The backcourt trio of Stickle, Delpha, and Zanders is just one to watch out for. And their stick almost gets it away. Giblin with great hustle.
Jader Wilhite pulls the three. It is missed, and Ian Delpha tracks it down. Looking to push the pace, but is a little cautious not to attack too quick. Hits Trent Hughes on the roll. Pass is fumbled. Ends up with Xanders. Now JD on the break. Stickle kicks out to Delpha. Thought about the three. Here's Stickle from the top of the key. Cannot get it. Rebounded by Spencer Wellington, the man that averages 16.5 points on the season. Can get going in an instant. But is blocked by Trent Hughes as JD looked to push the pace with Xanders and Giblin. And Xanders just misses as Wilhite takes the ball up.
Good effort by Hughes on the offensive glass right there.
Here's Wilhite looking for his first basket.
And there's
just
the height
pops
of
out.
Wellington. Too tall. Almost gets the and one, followed by either Hughes or Giblin. He'll go to the line for two.
On Trent Hughes and Wilhite. Nope, excuse me, Spencer Wellington will go to the line for two. Wellington gets the first one up and down for his first points of the evening. Wellington for the second. Gets it down once again. 2-2 with 6:35 left in the first quarter. And here comes Xanders.
And we just got a sneak peek on that last play. That Wellington is super dangerous down on the post. JD cannot get in foul trouble. This could get out of hand real quick.
Yeah, he's definitely a player that will likely get fouled a lot. Just that is the natural response to a guy of that size. But Eamon Giblin, the JD front court with a little two-man game. Trent Hughes back and Wellington down. Gets the feed to Giblin for two.
That is just a very crafty pass by Hughes. And there is a deep three from Williams again. Another miss for him as Stickle is in the backcourt being swarmed by Falcons players.
Here's Delpha able to shake Wellington, who's getting slow to get back on defense. Giblin fires for three, and he splashes it.
From way downtown, Eamon Giblin, the sophomore sensation. If he can get hot, Mikey, I keep saying this team is very dangerous when we are clicking on all cylinders.
I have gone on record several times that Ian Delpha is able to swat that pass out of bounds. As I was saying, I have gone on record several times saying Eamon Giblin is my favorite JD basketball player. I love how much intensity he plays with. He's such a raw player, so much athleticism and so much to prove out there as just a sophomore on this team. So talented.
Yes, I could not agree more. Very gritty and athletic player. As there is Williams with an out-of-control pass. Fowler will look to reset.
Here's Darian Clark handling it, matching up against Xanders. Seems to lose it before regaining. Here's Ponce Williams, sizing up.
Great defense by Xanders, but Williams slices away through the defense, but it's not enough. Giblin with a fantastic defensive rebound.
And so far, JD, despite their what some would call a lack of size at times, are doing a really great job on the interior on defense, really shutting down all those weapons for Fowler so far. Here's Trent on the block. Hughes with the fadeaway, can't quite get it.
Although Hughes missed that shot, this is the start JD needed. There is number 3, Darian Clark with a nice layup. 7-4 JD with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first quarter.
And the thing I'm looking for Fowler to do most often is to push the pace in transition. They're a very athletic team. A lot of really just athletic guys on this team that can really get hot at a moment's notice. And JD's going to have to work on their transition defense if they want to, slow this team down a little bit, as Trent Hughes will pick up the foul and go to the line for 2.
Yes, I could not agree more about what you said about Fowler getting out in transition. As we've seen early on in this first quarter, when Fowler is in their set offense, they are not getting many shots. And the shots that they do take are heavily contested and low percentage ones.
Hughes rims out on the first free throw attempt. Hughes for his second. And he gets it down for his first point of the night as JD hop out to an 8-4 lead.
One thing I'm noticing early on is that Fowler's star player, like we mentioned, Spencer Wellington, is on the bench. That's definitely something to look out for.
Williams loses it down below, but it is dropped down to number 25, Brian Aponte. Brian Aponte, the sub, coming on for Spencer Wellington, gets his first bucket of the game off a pretty scrappy play that Fowler was able to save.
Yes, very crafty pass, and that's a nice pass by Ian Delpha as Trent Hughes bangs it home.
Trent Hughes is so active down there on the block. And a great look by Ian Delpha, choosing not to be selfish, just dumps it down low to the open guy. It gets really easy when you got a guy like Trent Hughes that's just always finding the open holes to get into.
Oh yeah, most definitely. As we mentioned last week, I believe, number 2, Jakari Canary with a missed layup. And Xander's down to the other end, drives to the lane and gets fouled. That is a very aggressive and ambitious play that we love to see from the young sophomore.
And once again, JD, following that similar theme, their interior defense is absolutely stifling right now. Yeah. Although Trent Hughes didn't get the block on Canary's shot, was able to alter it in a way that, lent itself well to a very nice JD defensive rebound. Ends up with a trip to the line for Xanders.
Yep, as I was detailing before that little transition period, we keep mentioning that Trent Hughes being back for the Red Rams is so huge. I don't know if we can say enough. Last year he may have started as only a sophomore. Now he's a junior. He's finally healthy, and he is one of the best players on JD's team right now.
Yeah, he's so versatile. I likened him to almost, a Jokic type of player at the high school level. Can really do a little bit of everything. He can shoot, he can pass. He's a great cutter. And he's a really solid defender, always looking to alter shots down low.
And speaking of Hughes, it looks like he may have just jammed his finger on that last play, but he looks to be okay. He was wincing in pain for a second, but he's a tough kid.
Here's Canary. Drops it down to Willite, loses it momentarily. It's scooped up by Delpha as JD looked to push the pace on a 3-on-2. Drops it down to Stickle. Stickle takes it up for his first 2 of this evening. Stickle led the way with 20 points last game against Cortland as Fowler are forced into a timeout.
Great transition play by the Red Rams. This is something they needed going into this game. They were absolutely decimated by Cortland earlier in the week. Great start for the Red Rams. Early timeout by Fowler. They need to get their things together. This could snowball out of control very fast.
Yeah, and like we've said in the past, JD are a team that aren't known for getting off to a great start at the beginning of their seasons. Last season they started 1-5 before embarking on a 13-game win streak. This season they started 1-4, picked up that win against Cortland on Tuesday, and this looks to be the start of another one of those win streaks that they hope to emulate just like last year. But Fowler is no easy task. A team that JD played twice, beat them handily twice, one of which was Coach Ike's 100th game, but still, a group that is this athletic is always going to be a tough matchup, no matter what season, no matter what team comes into the gym today. Fowler's just one of those teams.
100%, and Spencer Wellington is one of those players you cannot let heat up. We've seen earlier in the year as there's number 13.
Anian Williams with a crafty take over the outstretched arms of Trent Hughes. And Stickle looks to facilitate. And Stickle just hits the side of the backboard there. Looks to get knocked over a little bit as Fowler pushed the pace in transition. But it's batted away by Ian Delpha, and here comes Stickle on the break. And he's fouled by number 4, Jader Wilhite.
And as I was detailing about Spencer Wellington before that little sequence, he is one player JD cannot let get hot. We've seen his ability to score in games this year. He had 32 points versus West Hill earlier in the year. He's put up 20 multiple times, always scoring in the high teens. One thing, though, to watch out for, though, is in their losses, he is playing consistently worse than in their wins.
Stickle hits his first. And like you were saying, Spencer Wellington is still on the bench right now. A little confused to that. Maybe just, coach wanted to get his tempers down a little bit. Maybe he was just having a tough time. But if Fowler want to even get close to JD in this game, he's got to be playing substantial minutes, and he has to be able to stay on the court because availability is the best ability in basketball.
Couldn't have said it better, Mikey. So there's number 14.
Fowler.
Oh, a nice little crafty pass down to number 10, Musa Dadiri. That was a nice crafty pass down to him for the nice layup for Fowler.
And here comes Delpha, leading the charge for JD, as we always see him doing. Here comes Xanders, looks to try and get a one-on-one. Kicks out to Delpha. Delpha for 3 is way short. Barely even hit the bottom of the net as Fowler looked to push the pace once again. But JD doing a nice job on transition. Here's the kick out to 14. That would be Terrence Lawrence. And a air ball there. But offensive rebound will be followed by Fowler. Here's a Ponte down below. Kicks out. The 3 by Anian Williams is tracked down by Alan Xanders. as Fowler still are yet to hit a three. And I think that's something JD are just going to kind of let them do. Let them shoot until they either stop taking them or start making them. And right now, it's a great sign for JD as Fowler just can't get it going.
Yes, that has been our go-to slogan here at JD TV. Start making them or stop taking them. That's something JD used in the second half. Fortunately for them, they made them in the second half against Cortland. Right now, not too many threes by JD, but Fowler, they can't win this game by living and dying by the three. They have to stop taking them or start making them. Is there Stickle from the wing? Little long, hits the back iron, goes down to number 4, Jadir Willahite.
Here's Willahite facilitating once again. Kicks out to the corner. Willahite once again drives, kicks out. That is Terrence Lawrence for three, and he hits it. Almost right on cue. Fowler get their first three of this evening as they trail by just one with just under a minute left.
And one thing that's going to happen, when teams take so many threes, they're eventually going to make some. If you could see Coach Ike on the sideline, a little disappointed that went in, but theirs are eventually going to fall for the Falcons. There's a nice backdoor by Stickle, but he gets it swatted away by 2 or 3 Fowler players.
And here come Fowler on the break.
Oh, he throws it off Eamon Giblin on the end line. That is great hustle by Giblin, though. Very unfortunate for the Red Rams.
Yeah, the outlet pass by Spencer Wellington there was just a little bit ahead of schedule, but JD will recover, but a good job of them not allowing an easy, quick transition bucket as Omar Musa will inbound. And Ian Delpha is able to bat the pass away into his own bench. An errant pass by Terrence Lawrence results in another Fowler sideline out of bounds.
Let's see what Fowler can draw up on this play. There's a little under 37 seconds left in the quarter, and they are only down 1 point.
Terrence Lawrence catches, will not go, and Xander tracks down the long board. Shot clock is turned off, but it looks like JD will almost try and push the pace a little bit with Delpha leading the charge. Here's Delpha, puts it up. A high floater, gets nothing but backboard. And they waste that possession, but Stickle gets it right back. Here comes Trent Hughes. What can he do? Gets above the rim. Oh, thought he was going to throw that down there.
I was looking for that one too, Mikey.
Man, got a little excited there. Trent Hughes with a strong take in transition. Both teams not trying to really conserve their valuable time here with the shot clock off. Both looking to push the pace, resulting in a turnover for both of them.
Yes, this is making for a very exciting first quarter. I wonder if Hughes got a bit ambitious on that one. He took off from quite a ways away. Would have been an easy layup, but perhaps got a little too big for his britches.
Hughes hits the first, will take the second. And hits as well, up to 5 points on the day. As Fowler have 10 seconds to work with. The ball is in Williams' hands. What can he do?
Let's see what Fowler can draw up with 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, from deep. It is blocked by Xanders. Great defensive stand by the Red Rams. You could not have asked for a better quarter if you are Coach Ike. JD is up 16-3 at the end of the first.
JD kind of going against the grain of their earlier performances. They have found themselves trailing in the first half a couple of times this season. But a really encouraging first quarter for Jeff Ike's team. And Ian, what do you think is the biggest key for JD to maintain this lead and stay in this game?
First off, I want to say, excuse my last comment. JD is up 16-13, not 16-3. And right now, JD is doing a really good job on the defensive end. When we are settled in our defensive half, Fowler is getting absolutely nothing. The only time we're getting beat is in transition, but that has been a common theme for the Red Rams all year. If they can clean that up, plus put points on the board, JD could run away with this real fast.
And I think one key for Fowler is to keep pushing it in transition. I know we said JD is really having a great day on the transition defense, a really great improvement from their previous losses. But Fowler has got to push it quick. They got to make some smart passes. We've already seen a couple of outlet passes. Go over the outstretched arms of a couple Fowler players. So they got to keep themselves organized no matter how fast they want to push it. Got to keep their heads on straight and just play some sound basketball. But this game is still in reach for both teams. We got a ton of time left, and it's only a 3-point.
One thing we are getting from our statistician, Will Cooper, out here in the booth is that Fowler is 1 for 6 from 3. They got to figure that out because, like Mikey said, this game is still very close. Although it may seem that JD has dominated possession and shots and even points, this game is still very close and very far from over.
Here's Stickle sizing up. Kicks out to Delpha on the wing. Out to Xanders. Here's Giblin in the middle. Brings it out to Delpha. Delpha for 3. will not go, and the long rebound is tracked down, but only momentarily by Omar Musa as he dribbles off his foot, and JD earned themselves another possession.
Yes, great job by Anthony Stickle there, disrupting the ball from Musa. Way to get the ball back for JD.
Oh, but Fowler pushes
Fowler's
out
on
in
the
transition. Here's Darian Clark, makes the unselfish read.
He smokes
Ponce
it!
Williams.
He smoked it! A wide open layup. Fowler cannot capitalize. That is a bad miss for the Falcons.
Here's Zanders. Hughes in the middle. Had a wide open Giblin on the block, but just a little too long waited there for Trent Hughes. And Wellington pushes the pace, and he throws it down! Spencer Wellington!
How do you do, Mr. Wellington? He throws it down, and the Falcons bench is losing their mind.
Spencer Wellington gets above the rim. Oh, wow.
Hum diddly dee, Mr. Wellington, but Delpha, another air ball. Wow, the momentum is in the hands of the Falcons right now.
And it seems like the life has just been sucked out of the JD student section right now. Spencer Wellington quite literally just brought the house down. The reactions from the JD fans right now are just priceless. These people can't believe what they're seeing, but hey, as a fan of basketball right now, you gotta love what you're seeing there for Spencer Wellington.
Oh yeah, if we could put our camera on the flock right now, it looks like everyone has just seen a ghost.
And that is an exclamation point for Fowler. Could be a real turning point in this game if JD can't figure out how to combat that.
This could turn into a dunk contest real quick if JD does not get back in transition.
Here's Cannery for three. Air balls, but the errant rebound is picked up by Wilhite. Smokes the layup, can't quite get it, and Delpha takes it out. Delpha looks to push it. Here's Stickle. Finds a wide open Hughes on the block. Oh, and he hits Eamon Giblin on the short roll. Cannot quite get the layup.
Stickle from the corner. Stroke that thing, Cuzzo! Stick is slick from the wing. JD needed that so desperately. They're up 19-15 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Anthony Stickle getting it done. Shout out to Jimmy Wickham there for the commentary advice. But Stickle, he's getting hot. We can feel it. This game is getting intense. As Fowler is fouled, that is number 4, Jader Wilhite is getting fouled with 5:50 left in the second quarter. Once again, we'd like to remind you that we do have a comment section here on YouTube. Please say really whatever you feel like. Here's Wellington, tries to power it on a 2-on-1, is blocked by Giblin. And Fowler smoke another layup. Here's Wellington, tries to bruise it in against Hughes again.
The Falcons are missing gimmies down in the paint. They got to start making those if they want to win this game, Mikey.
Yeah, Wellington's getting high percentage looks. He won't be mad at the looks he's getting, but just can't capitalize. As Trent Hughes puts some English on it.
Up and under for Mr. Hughes. Absolutely beautiful.
Trent Hughes gets that jelly on that little layup there.
Hughes,
just a beautiful finish.
Trent channeling his inner Kevin Durant on that play right there. Absolutely splendid.
Here's Williams handling. Gets out to Canary. And Canary will be fouled by Hughes. A good take there by Canary, a real athletic player, but it's shut down by Hughes, but Canary will head to the line.
And we have Aaron Sumida Jr. checking in at the scorer's table. JD is looking for him to provide a spark off the bench that they desperately need.
Like we said in earlier broadcasts, AJ Sumida is really a broadcast booth favorite, as Canary will take his first free throw. And almost airballs
Nearly
it.
an air ball.
And here comes AJ Sumida trying to fill the shoes of Trent Hughes. Is going to have a tough matchup ahead of him. Matchup against Spencer Wellington. But AJ Sumida, he's a competitor. He's a great role player. He's looking to expand on his normal role of just being a shooter. Got to get active on defense and on the glass.
And one thing to watch out for is Trent Hughes has 2 fouls and he is headed to the bench. He can't go back in this game right now because if he picks up his third before halftime, JD is going to be in a heap of trouble.
Here's Stickle. Could possibly take a heat check here. We know he can get hot at any moment and is really no stranger to pressing his luck from the three-point line. As Delpha tries to shake and bake a little bit. Here's Stickle, puts it up again.
Spot.
Back iron, but Eamon Giblin tracks down the long offensive rebound. Earns the possession for JD. Here's Giblin at the elbow again. Stickle fakes, takes a mid-range 17-footer. over several defenders, and Fowler pushes the pace once again. Here's Wilhite. Wilhite with the Euro, picks up the foul and gets the and one to fall. Looks like Jake Ogata is whistled for the foul there.
One thing to watch out for right now is JD has a very small lineup in. Eamon Giblin and AJ Samina are their two tallest players, not very much taller than 6 feet tall. Wellington can really take over this game right now if he wants to. And there is a miss on the and one by number 4, Jadir Willahite, as JD looks to capitalize on this offensive possession. And there is Stickle from about midcourt, finds Samita on the wing. Let's see what JD can get going on this play. There's Delpha, Samita from the wing, finds Ogata down low. Giblin is open, but they do not find him. Delpha wide open from the corner, nice pump fake. Giblin from the block. Very textbook offense there by the Red Rams. That's how you draw it up. That's how you run the play. That is how you get points every time down the court. As there's Wellington from the wing, and he pulls a 3 and rims out a toilet bowl. Does not go down for Spencer Wellington.
Here's Stickle facilitating. Kicks out to Delpha. Back to Stickle. Here's Giblin at the elbow. And here's AJ Samita, spots up for 3. Gets all backboard, but Jake Ogata is able to corral it. Another offensive rebound.
Yes. JD being very active on the offensive glass.
Here's Stickle drives, gets swatted away by Spencer Wellington. And JD will get an inbound from the baseline, but Spencer Wellington finally starting to heat up a little bit after that just ferocious dunk.
Yeah, you can't let him get high. As there's Delpha from the wing and misses it all. That is JD's, I believe, 3rd or 4th air ball tonight.
Delpha just cannot get it cooking right now. Not a single point today. Has missed 3 threes really badly, I might add. He's got to get going. Even if he can't get the points on the board, he's got to be able to just facilitate for his team, be that leader that they need. As here comes Canary on the ball handling duty for Fowler. Canary looks to drive, gets a head of steam down low and gets another and one. And Canary will head to the line again as JD will still lead 23-19 with just under 3 minutes in this second quarter and in this second half.
Right now, Fowler is getting anything they want down the middle of our defense. They are gutting us right up the middle. That is, I believe, their 2nd and 1 within the last few drives by the Falcons. And right now, we see number 2, Jakari Canary from the free throw line. He looks to go 2 for 2 from the line and cut this Jamesville-DeWitt lead down. And he makes the he makes the second. JD is now up 23-20 with a little under 3 minutes to go in this quarter. As here comes Stickle, bringing the ball up for the Red Rams. Wild pass, but Delpha can corral it in. Now finds Stickle from midcourt. Samita in the paint. There is Xanders on the wing. Back down to Samita, and he gets swatted, but there's a foul on Wellington. Wellington in the Fowler bench does not like that call, but Samita will be heading to the free throw line for 2 shots. And Samita misses his first shot off of the back iron. Let's see if he can capitalize on this second shot. And he misses again from the back iron, but a nice offensive board by Anthony Stickle.
JD right now are so active on the offensive glass. They've probably gotten 5 or 6 offensive rebounds right now, but they got to be able to capitalize. Still have not been able to get out to more of a lead than they started the second quarter with. As they will head into a timeout, and we will step aside for just 1 second. As we are back underway here, apologies for any technical difficulties that you may or may not have experienced, as here comes Ian Delpha, facilitating with just about 2:27 in the second quarter. Gets the high screen from Samita. Here's Delpha, charges, gets ahead of steam, and he puts the and one in. Ian Delpha finally starting to get cooking. Will go to the line to complete the three-point play. A great take by one of the smallest guys, if not the smallest guy on the court, Ian Delpha.
Tremendous take by Delpha right there. He really needed that and one. Let's see if he can use that as fuel for the rest of the game and start to cook up.
And Ian Delpha completes the three-point play.
Old-fashioned three-point play. Doesn't get much better than that.
As here comes Fowler, hoping to not get themselves into too much more of a deficit, as here comes Brian Aponte. Gets absolutely nothing but air over the hard contest from AJ Samita. You can always count on him. He may not block a ton of shots, but he will always get a hand in your face. As Delpha sizes up, the Red Ram lineup looking like Delpha, Stickle, Ogata, Samita, and Zanders right now. Ogata finds it on the wing, kicks out to Stickle, 15 seconds to work with. Stickle crosses, finds Samita in the other corner now. Cannot quite get it over Aponte quite yet.
Shot clock is running down for the Red Rams. As there's Zanders with a drive. Oh, nearly makes the layup. Cannot get it to fall.
Xander just catches too much iron. He's going to want that one back for sure, but the young sophomore will have plenty more opportunities to get that done.
Great handle there by Terrence Lawrence on that dribble.
Here's Aponte sizing up against the much smaller Ogata. It's falling back as Spencer Willington gets to that ball before it even is on its way down. But again, getting the offensive rebound but can't finish, and here comes Stickle. Here's Ogata from 13 feet. Cannot quite get it. Hits back iron as Fowler will push the pace once again. Number 13,
Samita with
Williams.
the rejection. Not his house. Aaron Samita Jr.
Samita sends it back with the exclamation point there on Anayan Williams. AJ Samita, if you thought he was only a shooter, you are sadly mistaken. He does it all. Here's Wellington.
On Samita, and he stops him. Wellington with his second putback in a row, and it's
And
going up to the Red Rams.
Forcing two consecutive missed layups from the best player on Fowler. Possibly the best on this court, but I don't think AJ Samita is going to think that after that defensive sequence.
Yeah, Junior is on fire right now with 3 defensive stops in a row. Spencer Wellington has about 5 or 6 inches on him. Aaron Samita does not care. He steps up to any challenge presented to him. He did that just right there. There's Delph from the wing. Let's see what JD can cook up. And he drives it in a contested layup for Ian Delpha. The height and strength and weight difference Ian Delpha has compared to these Fowler guards is insurmountable, but he does not care. He does what he wants, and he is scoring at will right now.
Ian Delpha, such a quick first step. If you're a young point guard out there watching this video, watch Ian Delpha. Look at the way he just took off. You don't need height when you're such a dynamic player like Ian Delpha, and Fowler will hold out for the last shot with 10 seconds left. Here's Willite, sizes up Zanders. With 5 seconds left, got to start get cooking. As Wellington throws it from basically out of bounds. The definition of an ill-advised shot as we head into the break with JD taking a commanding lead, 28-20. And just one little tidbit of information brought to us by Will Cooper and Luke McQuaid, our lovely statisticians tonight. Fowler has only had one player with multiple made field goals, that is Spencer Willington. They have 9 different players who have scored. Unfortunately, those 9 players have not really combined for too much scoring on the offensive end here. But Ian, what's one thing that you're loving out of JD right now in this first half?
I am loving their tenacity on defense. The Red Rams players are all over the place. Wherever the ball is, it seems that there's 1 Fowler player to 3 JD players. They're doing a phenomenal job on defense, and they are pushing in transition better. I like the way they're moving the ball on offense, and it seems to be getting what they want.
And as we follow Jeff Ike and John Barlow into the locker room, so concludes the first half of action, but do not go anywhere. There's only one place to get this game, and it is right here on YouTube on JDTV. Do not go anywhere, and we will be right back for the beginning of the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jamesville-DeWitt High School, broadcasted on JDTV for this game between the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams and the Fowler Falcons, which sees the Red Rams up 28-20 at the beginning of this third quarter. We're here in the lively Jamesville-DeWitt High School gym, where we just saw a great performance from the JD cheerleaders. Ian, what'd you think about that performance? I think we got to give them some recognition, you know?
Oh, that performance was absolutely electric, Mikey. That gave me chills. I'm so teed up for this second half right now.
And teed up doesn't even begin to explain it. It's always nice when JD is just cruising to a nice game like this. This is an intense game. We're loving it. The crowd is into it. The players are loving it. Coach Ike is only semi-untucked right now, so we're feeling good. That should be a good benchmark for JD's success right now.
Yeah, Coach Ike is in pretty great shape. Shirt's looking pretty good.
Here's Williams. Kicks out to Willite. Here's Cannery. Looking to size up. He's got 16 seconds to work with. Dishes out to Williams, guarded by Zanders. Canary looks to drive. It's batted away by Giblin. Will go out for a Fowler based on out of bounds with 11 seconds to work with.
Yeah, I'm really curious how JD starts this third quarter. As we detailed last stream, they are notoriously slow at coming out at halftime.
As a kick ball will be called there on, I believe, Giblin, looking to get down into Spencer Wellington, who hopes to continue his hot start. Didn't have a great first quarter, missed a couple of really wide open layups, but that dunk really made up for it. It was probably one of the best moments I've seen it from a JD basketball game, and it didn't even come from JD.
Oh, no
but other than that, we've done a good job of
Wellington again. He muscles his way into the paint and puts it right over Trent Hughes.
Like I was saying, we've just done a really good job of settling down Wellington a little bit. As here comes Stickle. Stickle hoping to continue his hot start as well. We know he's always one to take a heat check. Never saw a shot he didn't like. Here comes Zanders with a hot knife through butter. Just can't quite get the lay. Wellington outlet to Willite. Willite looks to shake Stickle. Cannot get him loose. Clark out to Cannery once again. Here's Willington. Cannery underneath again, but it's swatted by Eamon Giblin. Didn't even have to jump. Just muffles that shot there.
Phenomenal block by Giblin right there. That is one of his specialties. He is known for his acrobatic block shots. You saw it on display right there.
And once again, we'd just like to remind you, we've gotten a couple comments coming in, but just want to remind you that we do have a comment section here. Say anything you like about JD, about this game, as we've already gotten a couple ones.
Yeah, and there is number 3, Darion Clark, with a nice layup, skying over Trent Hughes off the glass. And it appears we have a comment from Dave Archer, the Jamesville-DeWitt JV lacrosse coach. He says, I blame Steph Curry for every kid shooting threes in the entire warm-up. Coach Archer, I could not agree with you more, as there is Stickle knifing through the defense for a nice reverse layup.
And here comes Fowler once again. We're talking about Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters, if not the greatest, but Fowler have basically done a reverse Steph Curry. Are only 1 for 6 from 3 in this game. Just cannot get it going other than the one make. And right now, JD are just going to let him shoot as a great turnover is picked up by JD. Giblin's fighting for it against Wellington. Giblin gets it going. It looks like it'll be a JD ball. Giblin earns the possession for JD. We love that intensity on the floor there. Always going to be the first guy on the floor for JD.
Absolute grit machine, Eamon Giblin is. And like you said, reverse Steph Curry. You could have not said it any better. Fowler is ice cold from beyond the arc.
Here's Stickle. Gets a quick first step, as he is known to do. Here's Trent Hughes. Kicks back out to Delpha on the wing. Here's Delpha looking to shake again. Here's Stickle in the corner. Cannot quite get it. Everyone in this gym wanted that to go down. Here comes Williams and Wellington on the break. Here's Williams, stops short. Gets the little floater, but Wellington is just overpowers Stickle. Thought he had an N1 finish there. The ball rattles around before going out, but Wellington will head to the line for 2. And I was expecting maybe another Spencer Wellington dunk there to kind of punctuate this little run for Fowler. I think every JD fan in this gym kind of breathed a sigh of relief when we see he didn't throw that down.
Yes, it appeared as if Fowler was going to throw an alley-oop to Wellington. Not quite enough time and out of space, but that would have absolutely brought the house down.
Wellington with a sharp hit of the back iron there. Misses the first, looks to take his second. And Wellington cannot get the second again. Best friends with the rim, not necessarily with making baskets. And here's Delpha, looks to continue his stretch of a couple nice baskets here. Here's Xanders in the corner. Giblin down low, not used to taking a ton of shots, but he's great when he gets down low, is able to kick out. And it looks like a foul on the floor against Giblin. Giblin to inbound, hoping to find a cutter, gets Trent Hughes on the almost picked off pass. Stickle drives baseline, is shut down by Wellington and just really threw that pass to nobody. Thought Xanders was going to cut, maybe Delpha, but the big body of Wellington just shut him down.
One thing Coach Ike always preaches and practices, do not throw the ball when you're in the air and do not throw it when you're behind the basket. Stickle adjusted both of those, committed the cardinal sin in the Jamesville-DeWitt basketball program.
Here's Williams with an acrobatic finish. Gets a double clutch, cannot even get the ball out of his hands as Trent Hughes will foul him. He will go to the line. 4-2.
I believe that is Trent Hughes' third foul, if I am not mistaken.
I think so. Trent Hughes is a player you gotta kind of look to protect. You want to keep him on the floor as long as you possibly can. Either a second or third, either way, as long as he's matched up with Spencer Wellington, he is going to continue to get these, tough meetings at the rim against Wellington. As Williams misses the back end of the free throw, actually missed both there. Looks to be a foul on the floor against JD.
One thing to note on is number 4, Jackson Cerrone, has just checked into the game for Anthony Stickle.
Jackson Cerrone, the young buck. As Jacob Gata also checks in, the slightly older buck, the senior. Jackson Cerrone started last game in place of Xanders. Hasn't gotten any time so far today, but hoping to be a little encouraging sight to see. What is not an encouraging sight, however, is Spencer Wellington just really getting his way against the JD front court, especially with this smaller lineup, with the exception of Trent Hughes, just really imposing his will on the shorter players.
He just muscled his way through 3 Jamesville-DeWitt defenders. He caught the ball underneath the backboard, ended up coming up on the top, and put it home for the N1.
And something that is important to note is that the man with 3 fouls, Trent Hughes, just checked out for AJ Samita. Looks to be, nope, that basket will count. It was a lane violation, but the basket counts regardless. No, actually the basket will not count on the lane violation from Fowler there. It's number 10, Musa Dadiri, erases 1 point that should have been for Fowler.
Yes, that is a mental mistake right there by Fowler. You can't leave points off the board if you're them and you want to win this game.
Here's Samita sizing up Wellington, a guy who I don't really think he's scared of anymore. Not that he ever was, but AJ Samita has really held his own against a great player there.
Absolutely. Aaron Samita Jr. is one fearless player.
Here's Cerrone for 3. Gets it out and cannot get it down. Wellington picks up the rebound off the heavy contest from Samita. Looks to push the pace to Cannery. Here is Musa Dadiri for 3. Hits back iron, and Jacob Gata tracks it down as JD pushed the pace. And AJ Samita kisses it off the glass.
Junior with a great drive to the basket. Also shout out to Jake Ogata for that crafty pass to Samita on the left wing.
AJ Samita, thank you very much. Like we said, he is just unfazed by any of these amazing athletes on Fowler. He's getting his way. He's cooking right now. You can see it. You can see the expression on his face right now. He looks like he just wants to get after it. He's doing it. He's having his way.
And that almost felt like a momentum shifter for the Red Rams. It felt as if Fowler was taking control of this third quarter. But that turnover, fast break layup by Samita right there really kind of changed the tide of the game, in my opinion.
Samita, such a spark plug. We really could talk about him all day, just saying nice things about him on the court. Someone we've had the pleasure of playing basketball alongside, but just, being alongside, getting to hear his takes on all JD sports. He is actually notorious for putting a lot of pressure on all the sports that he doesn't play, namely the JD lacrosse team, but that is neither here nor there, as Samita is continuing his hot streak on the basketball court. As here comes Fowler. That is a long 2 from Cannery. The rebound is tracked down here. Samita on the ground. Picks it up. He's the first guy on the ground, but the possession arrow will go against JD.
Yeah, Mikey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anyone's ever said anything bad about A.J. Samita when he's playing basketball.
I don't think so. I think, like we said, he's a fan favorite. We love watching him play. He's a character on this court, and a character who's having probably one of his best games of the season right now.
Oh, most definitely. As there as Wellington picks up the garbage of his teammates and puts it home for 2.
And Wellington cuts the lead to 4. As Samita looks to get it in the corner, decides against it. Here's Zanders. Gets a screen from Ogata. Kicks out to Delpha in a spot that he really likes shooting from. Delpha shakes. Here comes Zanders. Just mishandled the pass a little bit. Tries to get free. Will get knocked out, and JD will retain possession with 9 seconds to work with. So here comes Cerrone to inbound. Finds Samita in the corner. Quick work around to Delpha. And on the hammer screen off Samita, here's Jackson Cerrone in and out, but Samita muscles it in, gets the offensive board once again. Cannot hit the layup, but we got to love the tenacity regardless.
That is great grip by Samita right there. You can't ask for much more as a player coming off the bench. And Wellington slips in midcourt, but they get the timeout just in time. Coach Ike is furious right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that timeout call. Looks like the ball was clearly not in the possession of Spencer Wellington. Looks like it was kind of bouncing around on the floor there. You let us know in the comments if you think that was JD or Fowler ball. Regardless of what we think, it is going to be Fowler ball as we head into a Fowler timeout with 2:45 left in the third quarter. One thing to note is that Fowler are getting off to basically the worst shooting start you can possibly get off to from the line and from 3. They're 1 of 11 from 3, with Ponce Williams most notably going 0 for 6 from 3. In addition, they are 3 of 11 on free throws, which is, I really have no other way to say that than that is just dreadful. That is awful.
Right now, the whole entire Fowler Falcons team is looking like a prime Andre Roberson. If you know, you know. One of the worst shooters in NBA history. Mikey, what do you got to say about that?
It's just terrible. You know, free throws, they're called free for a reason. And they're leaving 8 points on the line. It's unacceptable. You got to be at least 50 or 60%.
And there is a moving screen by Spencer Wellington. Jackson Cerrone absolutely just soaked that blow. Bad break for the Fowler Falcons.
And one theme for JD is they're not scared to go against any of these guys who are a lot bigger than them, notably Ian Delpha and just their Jackson Cerrone. They're not going to back down from any challenge. That's what Jeff Ike ingrains in his team, and that's really just the JD way. A gritty school full of gritty players who just want to get the job done.
Built on grit. There's Delpha from the wing and hits the back iron. A man's board by Spencer Wellington, and it appears as he is fouled by Jake Ogata. That is a tic-tac foul that you can't afford in such a close game right now.
A man's board from Spencer Wellington. Like you said, you might have heard that from all the way up here in the broadcast booth. Spencer Wellington, just an emphatic little rebound there. Shouldn't say little, a huge emphatic rebound. As Fowler hoped to not extend the JD lead to any more than it already is. As A.J. Samita picks up a hard foul there on number 2, Cannery. Looks to be in a little bit of pain, but he gets up no problem.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen when you try to take the ball into Samita. No malicious intent on that foul, but definitely one Cannery is going to be feeling after this game.
And it looks like we may have got some confirmation here from Dave Archer in the comments. He said he rewound our stream and found that I believe it was the Fowler timeout off the loose ball was actually not Fowler's ball. You never know, it could come into play. Every team is going to wish they had just one more possession at the end of a close game like this.
There is another missed free throw by Fowler. They are absolutely shooting themselves in the foot right now from the charity stripe.
Now at 25%, 3 of 12. Even if this was baseball right now, you do not want to be hitting 1 out of 4 in any sport you play. And Cannery hits the free throw once again as JD will be rocking with their small lineup once again. Samita, the tallest guy on the floor. Jake Ogata as well, met with 3 small guards.
Stickle has also checked back in the game for Jackson Cerrone.
And Stickle looks to pick up where he left off in the first and second quarters. I have a feeling he's going to want to get at least a couple shots up. But here comes Alan Zanders, a tough take over 2 Fowler defenders that are both bigger than him. Looks a little frustrated that he couldn't get that one to go. Basically had his eyes at the rim on that take.
One thing I got to say is the JD student section needs to get back into this game. all the energy and life has been absolutely sucked right out of the gym. We need our fans to bring us back. As there is a miscommunication by Jake Ogata and Alan Sanders. This is snowballing out of control for JD in this third quarter.
Jake Ogata basically getting caught doing the opposite of ball watching. Did not have his eyes on on Sanders there.
Yes, not watching the ball, the opposite of
Correct,
ball
correct.
Yeah.
As here comes Terrence Lawrence. Out to Willite, gets to the man in the middle, Spencer Wellington, but it's picked up by Ogata. And it is corralled by Ogata and Sanders. Another Fowler turnover in a really costly spot on the floor. Here's Delph out on the arc. Gets his first step, as we know him to do. Jake Ogata just outruns another one of his teammates' passes, but JD will retain possession. Here's Stickle. Samita with 11 seconds to work with, kicks out to Sanders on the arc. Sanders with the little Euro, and that is Jader Willite is called for the whistle on Sanders. He will go to the line for 2. And Sanders an all-right free throw shooter, is 9 for 16 on free throws this season, so not the worst, not the best. But the young guy has a lot of free throws in his future.
Let's see if he can knock these two down. Big points here for JD. He misses the first off the back iron. He definitely wanted that back based off the body language by Alan Sanders. And tonight, that makes Sanders 0 for 3 from the charity stripe on the night.
Make it 0 for 4, but A.J. Samita tracks down the long rebound. I believe that is his third or fourth. Stickle fires for 3. Oh, we all wanted that one, but he gets his own miss. Follows his shot, kicks out to Sanders down below. Oh, and he loses it. Here comes Fowler on the break. Here's Willite, dumps it off to Wellington. A terrible idea. Oh, but another one. It's picked up by Williams, finds Wellington down below, and just a turnover from Fowler turns into a turnover from JD.
A very sloppy sequence by both teams there. Fowler just gets the more lucky end of the draw. They're able to put points on the board.
Right before I was about to say how great of a job JD were doing on defense, off a pretty terrible pass from Willite. Should have just taken him on his own, but I digress. They give it right back on the defensive rebound.
Yes, both teams looking to push and transition. Both teams also look a bit ambitious in doing so. Fowler turned it over on their fast break, and JD with another terrible turnover on the way back.
And with 43.2 seconds left in the third quarter, JD find themselves only up by 1. A tough third quarter, but we know they are no stranger to difficult third quarters. I don't have the stat with me right now, but as of the game before the Cortland game, they were 75 to 38 in third quarters. They were on the losing end of that, for anyone interested. Have been terrible in third quarters, are at a 4-point deficit in this third quarter. And with 43 seconds left and the ball, hoping to just, stake out a little bit more of that lead, kind of dig away a little bit more at Fowler with a couple seconds left.
It appears if JD's kryptonite is doing good in third quarters this year.
Here comes Stickle, taking his time. Finds Ogata, is able to handle this one. Samita on the arc, here's Stickle, fires. Oh, and he just can't put it down. The rough shooting night from 3 for Stickle continues. We really wanted that. Everyone in this gym did. Looks like the student section may have lost a little bit of their spark, but nothing will do that, just like a fourth quarter, and it looks like Fowler will take it easy for the last couple seconds. 10 seconds left in this quarter. JD counts of 3 seconds left. Didn't fall for that, but it looks like they were just rushing a little bit as the pass from Cannery goes off the knees of Anian Williams. A terrible error there as JD got 5 seconds to work with.
Let's see if JD can draw up some play, get some points on the board before the start of the fourth.
And that's a charge against Alan Sanders. I believe that is Anian Williams picking that up. And that, I guarantee you, you can go back to this comment, that is going to be one of the turning points in this game. JD, go for it.
We are just got a new comment from Jacob Marshall, a 2021 Jamesville-DeWitt High School graduate. Give us 1 second. Samita gets the ball back, and that will be the end of the third. As I was saying, Jacob Marshall, 2021 Jamesville-DeWitt graduate, says Stin for Coach of the Year. For those of you that don't know, Austin Isaacs was the former manager for Coach Ike. He's not stepped down from that role. He's actually been promoted to assistant coach. Now filling in for his role as manager is Foster Kessering. Thank you, Jacob Marshall, for that wonderful comment.
And we would now like to take a time just to step away from the game for a little bit and bring in a JDTV classic, which is the What Day Is It? So, Ian, today is many days. Today is National Cuddle Up Day. Today is National Technology Day, National Shortbread Day, and it's also National Bean Day. Do you feel a certain way towards either of these topics?
These are some national holidays I don't have much feelings towards. I guess I reside closely with National Bean Day, considering that I just had Chipotle for dinner. I got some nice black beans in my bowl, a lot of protein in those, and very tasty as well.
Yeah, I think I can really identify with National Technology Day as we got this nice setup here, courtesy of our athletic director, John Goodson, who couldn't be here today, but shout out to him providing all our technology. And shout out to this whole booth, Luke McQuaid, Will Cooper, Aaron Coe on camera, Ian McIntyre, my partner here, for one more quarter tonight as we celebrate National Technology Day in the only way we know how.
Streaming JDTV, giving you the entertainment we all know and love.
And deserve. As here comes JD and here come Alan Sanders. A fresh 8 minutes on the clock for JD, the final 8 minutes of this game. A one-point game. I know this thing will go down to the wire. And a pretty low-scoring game, too. I was able to catch a little bit of the JV game for JD against Fowler, and that game was 81-70. JD won.
The exact opposite here at the varsity level. Something you do not typically expect, as Eamon Gibling is wrestling all over the floor for that loose ball. Let's see where the refs decide to give it to.
Fowler player is calling for a travel as well as the Fowler coach, but it looks like the jump ball will result in a Fowler possession. So another wasted possession there from JD. It's beginning to be a little bit of a theme as the third quarter ends and the first quarter begins.
And one thing Mikey said a second ago was low scoring. That is just the whole entire day for JD, as they only put up 4 points in that third quarter.
Yeah, like we said, a terrible display in the third quarter. Not new to JD and Jeff Ike, but as we know, the fourth quarter is the great equalizer. As Spencer Wellington gets Fowler's first lead since probably the first quarter. Now up to 14 points on the evening. We knew it was going to happen. Almost up to a season total of 16.5, which is what he averages. And he gives Fowler the early lead in this fourth quarter. JD got to hold on to this for as long as they can.
Yes, Fowler takes their first lead since, I believe, early in the first quarter. Very long time ago. There's Ian Delpha driving a nice over-the-head floater. He is all fired up after that one. Let's see if he can catch fire and propel JD to this win, as they have a lot of work to do and a lot of time left on the
with
clock.
His signature teardrop, but he can save his tears for another day as he gets this rolling, gives JD another 1 point lead. I think we're going to see a couple of lead changes in this fourth quarter. If I was a betting man, I would bet on that. And a terrible pass there from Stickle. He's the first one on the floor, but number 11, Omar Musa, is able to get that back. As Wellington mistimes his jump and Giblin pushes the pace. Here's Sanders, looks to get it going, and it is a blocking foul as Xander takes it up. We'll go to the line, 4-2.
Yeah, I think Sanders and the whole entire JD bench and fans really wanted that and one. He was so close. Based off of his body language, he really wants that one back. Let's see if he can make up for it from the foul line, where he has yet to make one tonight.
And a possible throwdown could have ensued there from Alan Sanders. I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet, but I've heard that he can yam, he can dunk. He's done it in practice a couple times, but one thing, almost spoke too soon. I was going to say one thing he has not done is make his free throws today. He's 0 for 5.
I have indeed also heard the urban myth that Alan Sanders can dunk. Not sure if we'll call it a myth, but it has yet to be seen and yet to be recorded.
It's kind of like Bigfoot right now.
Yes, most definitely.
We all hear about it. There's some people out there that really believe it. And one thing that we are forced to believe is that he's 0-6.
Yeah, one thing that is an urban myth is Alan Sanders making free throws. He can't buy a basket tonight. I love the kid. I love JD. But he is 0 for 6 right now from the free throw line. There's Delpha. And one! Anthony Stickle absolutely mean-mugging up to the free throw line. He's looking to get the old-fashioned three-point play, put JD up by 4 points.
Stickle channeling his inner Judah Mintz there. The two Syracuse guards. As Stickle mean mugging, like Ian said. He's one of those players that when he's going, he knows it. When he's heating up, everything just is eliminated, and it's just him and the ball. As he misses that sole free throw, Eamon Gibbon looks to track it down, but it will be Fowler ball.
Yes, when the train of Anthony Stickle is on the tracks, you better get out the way.
Anthony Stickle, the conductor in many ways, in more ways than one. That could be a good nickname for him. I know we already have Stick. Oh, and Trent Hughes swats it away from a Nyan Williams. I called him Dikembe Hughes on Tuesday's broadcast, and it looks like Dikembe Hughes has just entered the building once again.
He is absolutely living up to that nickname, Mikey. When Williams went up for that layup, Trent Hughes said, "No, no, no, not in my house."
Not today.
Is there
Trent Hughes gets it again!
And the foul! Trent Hughes is all jacked up. He wanted that fast break. He for sure would have thrown that one down.
Trent Hughes with a full head of steam after the emphatic block. Gets two in quick succession. And Trent Hughes really starting to find his own on the defensive end. It's really looked like, as we get into the real difficult stretch of this season for JD, he's really starting to find his own.
And Dave Archer has commented for the third
Once
time
again.
tonight. We very much appreciate it. His suggestion is to maybe shoot some free throws during warm-ups. Coach Archer, I think that is a phenomenal idea. We will pass that on to Coach Ike, Stin, Barlow, Shaka, Becker, and as always, Foster Kesselring.
Yes, and I have to add, Foster Kesselring, I talked to him in sixth period today. He did warm up with the team today for the first time as Ian Delpha misses the quick runner in the lane. I'll get back to my Kesselring story in a second. As that is number one, Ponce Williams lays it in. Like I was saying, Foster Kesselring warmed up with the team today. Told me it's a talent show today at 6:45. So far, we've seen everyone's talents on display for both teams. And Foster Kesselring, really the unsung hero of this JD team.
Yes, you definitely stole the words out of my mouth there. I've been seeing it all night. Foster Kesselring is not dressed in his usual suit and quarter-zip attire. He's looking like a member of the team, which of course he is, but he's looking like a real player tonight.
He is the double threat, manager by day, player by night.
Hopefully JD can extend this lead and possibly give Foster his first minutes of the year. Boy, would the crowd love that. And I know we would love that too, Mikey.
I would. There's probably nothing I want more to just see Foster Kesselring playing the Dwayne Wade role, throwing a lob up to Trey Evans playing the LeBron role. I told Trey Evans, he was telling me there might be a chance that he could get in here for the last couple minutes. Don't know if that's going to be likely, but hey, he is one of those guys that if he is on the floor, Ike is going to let him cook.
And one thing I hear them say over and over again in practice is, let Trevins cook. Trevins is Trey Evans, one of the premier three-point shooters on this team. I say, if JD is down and Coach Ike needs a spark, throw Trevins in. He's going to pull it from the corner without a doubt.
Yeah, Trey Evans has the perpetual hot hand. Never saw a shot he didn't like as Jake Ogata rolls it in. The feed from Trent Hughes, such an unselfish and creative feed. As Jake Ogata gets his first points of the night at a very opportune time, I might add, for the Red Rams.
Ogata needed that. He's not much of a scorer, but when he can get baskets going, he'll do anything to help JD. As there is a deep three that hits the back iron.
As Ponce Williams is now 0 for 7 from 3. Just laying bricks right now.
He has so many bricks, he could build a house, Mikey.
He could probably build a new gym at this rate. Might even need that if he's going to, want to get some more hours in practice. As Stickle chases down the offensive board with just under 4 minutes left, looking to extend the lead of 3 to a little bit more for JD. Stickle dishes at Delpha. Delpha with the heat check, and he cashes it home!
Ian Delpha, bang, bang! An absolute momentum shifter for the Red Rams. He is dialed right now.
When the world needed him most, he arrived. Ian Delpha getting hot at the absolute best time. The microwave heating up.
Ian Delpha is always cooking. He's had a bit of a quiet day, but there he really just let one fly from deep. And boy, did it pay off for the Red Rams.
And the crowd goes wild. The broadcast booth goes wild. The cheerleaders go wild. Everyone's going wild. What a day for JD Sports as we have 3:46 left in this fourth quarter in this game. and JD now can extend their lead to 6 points, courtesy of Ian Delpha.
Yes, Mikey, there is still a ton of time in this game. We've seen JD go on slumps for most of that third quarter. We've seen Fowler go on quite a few, mini runs. Maybe that could be the difference in this game right now.
Fowler to inbound. And it looks like Ponce Williams will be walking the dog a little bit. Try and save all those precious seconds that he can. Gets the screen from Wellington, who's been a little quiet in the fourth quarter so far. Williams launches from 3 again. Make that 0 of 8 from 3. Wellington gets the follow, and then picks up the foul. Will go to the line for 2.
Yes, Ponce Williams is really just heaving from anywhere at this point and praying. Unfortunately, his wishes have not been granted yet tonight.
Playing like a prime Jack White. Ian, you may remember the Duke sharpshooter, I put in air quotes, a man that went 0 for 10 against Syracuse. Had to add that little tidbit in whenever I see someone as cold as Ponce Williams is from 3.
Yes, Jack White, a notorious, terrible free throw shooter. As diehard Syracuse fans, me and Mikey love to see that.
And Wellington hits his second. And we would just like to direct your attention to Coach Ike very briefly, as his shirt is basically fully untucked. That is a sign of, at times, panic, at times just frustration. But right now, he just looks like he's a little bit anxious right now for the outcome of this game. But the Coach Ike barometer for an untucked shirt is fully up, and that looks to be a Ponce Williams turnover forced by Jake Ogata and Trent Hughes. The crowd is loving it, and Jake Ogata earns another possession there.
Yeah, you know the game is a barn burner when Coach's shirt is untucked.
I've yet to talk to him about quite what his rationale is to the untucked shirt. I imagine it's kind of out of his control at this point. That thing kind of has a mind of its own. I will make sure to report back with my findings, for sure. As here is Stickle. Drives, kicks to Hughes. Whistle blows, and that will be a foul against Anian Williams. Looked to be a little soft for me, but hey, I'm not complaining.
And that, we are getting word from our statistician and record keeper, Luke McQuaid, that is Anian Williams' 4th foul. Definitely something to look at in the latter parts of this game.
Yeah, Anian Williams is really a glue guy for this Fowler team. And let me just say, if you don't have glue, you're not going to stay together.
You won't stick, as we just saw Anthony Stickle from the free throw line and make the first end of that 1-and-1. He is still very slick, ladies and gentlemen.
And Stickle hits both. He is now 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Always a guy that you can count on. Was 16 for 21 on the season for free throws entering this game. Extends it. Here's Wellington from way downtown. Cannot get it to go. Jake Ogata corrals it. It'll be a kicked ball off Anian Williams, as JD will look to take it the other way, extend their 7-point lead to something a little bit more comfortable. And that'll be, I believe, a Fowler timeout with 2:50 left. Once again, we'd just like to tell you that there is a comment section here on JDTV. If you'd like to say anything, please feel free. And we are now getting word that Fowler is now, with that Spencer Wellington miss, 1 for 14 from 3. Yes, I said that right.
Wow. Absolutely terrible.
Terrible is not even the tip of the iceberg. I want to say something right now. I just have no words for the shooting performance.
I am quite speechless. This is one of the worst shooting performances I have ever seen from a team in a high school basketball game.
But good job for JD. Kind of just letting Fowler shoot. As I looked at Fowler warming up, they were one of those teams that hardly takes any threes in their warm-up. And in my history of watching basketball warm-ups, that is usually a pretty good sign that the team just cannot shoot. Instead, these guys want to just throw down some highlight dunks like we saw from Spencer Wellington, but just cannot capitalize from way downtown.
You know, speaking of warm-ups, JD and Fowler are nearly polar opposites, like Mikey mentioned. Fowler shooting everything from inside the arc, JD only taking threes in their warm-ups.
Here's Ogata to inbound after the timeout break. Here to Stickle. Looks to get trapped, but JD will look to get out as Eamon Giblin was wide open underneath the basket. Here's Stickle with the long two decides against it. And JD just taking their time. Do not want to give Fowler any more opportunity than they deserve. Here's Hughes at the top of the key. Looks to jab. Coach Ike yelling words of patience. As number 14, Terrence Lawrence will pick up the foul on Trent Hughes. And JD are now in the bonus, and I believe that will be a 1-on-1 free throw attempt from Trent Hughes.
These are big free throws for the Red Rams. If they can knock both of these down, they will go up 9 points with just over 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this ball game.
After the make.
And the old announcer jinx gets them again.
As here's Wellington looking to push the pace. Kicks out to Wilhite. And make it 1 for 15.
They cannot buy a three-pointer even if they wanted to, Mikey.
About to do some quick calculations here. Fowler are 1 for 15, making them, ready for this? 6.7% from three. You are hearing that correctly. I apologize if you heard that correctly, because that's an abysmal stat line. But Fowler just cannot get it cooking.
Like I said, one of the most atrocious shooting percentages I have ever seen in a high school gym.
And we've had a lot of gym classes in here with a lot of non-basketball players. This just about trumps it all.
Yes, I believe you could take 5 kids from our student section right now, throw them on the court, and they are most definitely going to shoot better than Fowler from the three-point line. Some guys like Noah Marshall, Tyler Kalin, Mario Strife, and Jimmy Wickham ring bells in this scenario.
Yeah, a couple of those former JD basketball players. I feel like they still would have the touch out there, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think Luke McQuaid, our statistician, also thinks he could probably do better than 6% from three. I feel like most JD students, probably most small children in this crowd, could do better than that.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. It does not take much to shoot better than 1 for 15 from the three-point line.
As Hughes rolls it around, extends the JD lead to 7. He is now 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Entered this game at 11 for 14 from the free throw line. So really never in doubt that Trent Hughes is going to sink a couple big ones. As he extends his hot streak from the line from 6 to 7 as JD calls timeout with 2:13 left.
This game appears as if it could be getting out of control real fast for the Fowler Falcons.
As the coaching staff for JD of Shaka, Barlow, Isaacs, Becker, Kesselring, and most notably Ike will talk it over for what could be the final time tonight. And it looks like Coach Ike is probably just going to say, hey, we're in this game. We got a nice lead, but it's not a safe lead. We got to stay in this. We got to continue to play smart defense. When we have the ball, we got to savor that time. You don't need to chuck up any wild shots. There's no reason to push the pace. And just, keep your head on straight in transition. You should be cruising to a really quality win here.
Yeah, one thing that Will Cooper just pointed out up here is that although Fowler is only down 8 points, they have also missed 12 free throws. That is really the difference in the game right now, along with their atrocious three-point shooting.
Yeah, I think after this game we're going to have to ask our athletic director, John Goodson, if he put a lid on the Fowler basket earlier, because I really have no other interpretation of how they could be this bad. But, again, I digress, as this game is still very much a contest. Here's Cannery driving. Kicks out to Lawrence. Lawrence loses it momentarily. Here's Wellington loses his balance. Kicks back out to Canary with 6 seconds to work with. And that is a foul on Ian Delpha.
Very questionable call there by the officials. Very tough to see also from up here in the booth, though.
He will send Cannery to the line, which will actually be 2 shots, as both teams have hit their 10 foul capacity. And Cannery looks to do a little better than his counterparts, but I wouldn't be so certain as he airballs! He airballed the free throw!
Some of the JD fans in the first row are absolutely loving this. I'm looking at Jack Hazelton right now. at the top of the stands. He looks like he has just seen a ghost with that air ball.
Jakari Cannery, nothing but CO2 on that one. He has missed both of those now. Entering this game, he was 2 for 10 from the free throw line. I have reason to believe that has gotten progressively worse.
Boy, it just keeps getting worse for the Fowler Falcons and their shooting struggles. I am convinced that there is a what did you say, Mikey?
A
lid on the rim, yes. This is comical at this point.
As Stickle is roped up there, he will go to the line for 2 shots. And, we thought the Cannery was maybe going to do some damage to this JD lead. Quite literally did the exact opposite. An air ball, a brick. I have no words. That is that is Joakim Noah levels of free throw shooting.
You could not have said it better. Joakim Noah, Barama Sidibe, if you will, as a Syracuse fan. But if you thought this Fowler shooting struggles could not get any worse, you were sadly mistaken. It has gotten a million times worse. An airball free throw really just, is the icing on the cake for that one.
And Stickle improves to 6 for 6 from the line today. Man, put him on Fowler, and this is a very different game, but thankfully for almost every person in this gym, he is a JD boy through and through. Here's Wellington just getting his way against Hughes, but could be just a little too late with 1:22 left in this 8-point game. I don't think we're going to see any of the JD bench faithful here tonight, unfortunately. But I think they'll all be happy with a nice closeout for JD on this win.
Yeah, very unfortunate that we will not be seeing the likes of Trey Evans and Foster Kesselring tonight. But a win is a win. There's nothing much better than that. You get to go into your weekend with, it's not over yet, but time is winding down for the Falcons. There's nothing better than going into the weekend with a nice league win.
And this anticipated win will move JD to 3-4 on the season. Will move the Falcons to 3-5. So JD, I don't want to speak too soon, but seeing as though they went on a 13-game win streak at this point in the season last year, it's not out of the question, especially with a couple of easy league matchups coming up with the likes of Auburn, Central Square, Fulton, Oswego, Cortland, to name a few. It's not out of the question to say this team could string together a nice couple of victories and head into sectionals with a nice high seed.
Oh, most definitely, Mikey. JD is always most dangerous during league play in the basketball season. Like you said, 13-game win streak last year. I would not be surprised if they did that once again this year.
Here's Ogata rebounding to Stickle. Stickle looking to push the pace, is able to almost clear it past the timeline, gets it over to Delpha. Here's Hughes in the corner. JD are going to look to take their time. They got 23 seconds on the shot clock to burn. As Delpha is fouled, we'll head to the line for 2. Fowler already starting to play that foul game, which is honestly one of my least favorite parts of basketball, but hey, it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the game. It absolutely kills all the vibes, but you got to do what you got to do. Desperate times call for very desperate measures.
Here's Delpha. Missed the first, makes the second. Extends the JD lead to 9 as we are with 1 minute remaining. Wellington powers through with the right-hand finish off the glass, and it'll be a Fowler timeout. I don't really know why. He's kind of just hoping to keep his boys in the gym for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it appears as if Fowler is trying to extend the game as long as they can, doing everything they can to try to claw back. It may be too little too late, though. And one thing that I wanted to say, Mikey, was Spencer Wellington, 2 nice baskets in the last minute or so, but they really needed him in the early stages of this half. It's very useless for him to heat up at the end of this quarter when the game is practically over.
And in the early stages of this game, we saw in the first quarter he was on the bench for almost 5 minutes. Still have yet to figure out why that was, but really missed one of the most important times for his team to get out there. Part of the reason why Fowler fell behind in the first half. And he's really been overshadowed by the likes of Trent Hughes and A.J. Samita, to name a few. Samita grabbing 3 or 4 offensive rebounds on him. Trent Hughes just muscling him down low, forcing him to miss a couple of really nice open looks underneath the basket. But as we know, no look is an open look when Dikembe Hughes is lurking.
Yes, he is in the shadows. He is the one who knocks. You do not want to go up against Trent Hughes when your back is towards the basket.
Ogata uses almost all of his 5 seconds as a reach-in foul is called from behind Trent Hughes. That will be on Spencer Wellington. And this could just be the longest minute in all of sports. The final minute of a basketball game that's between 6 to 10 points is just a grueling process for announcers, players, fans, coaches alike, as we hope to wind this matchup down with a Jamesville-DeWitt inbound.
Yes, this, Mikey, is like watching a snail try to move 1 foot. This is going to take forever.
Here's Ogata. Gets a pass tipped, but it will go out to Delpha and then Stickle. Delpha is able to save it before it gets trapped a little bit. Here's Jake Ogata, the cross-court pass to Giblin. Trent Hughes on the wing, taking his time. There's no reason not to. And he throws it away, but right after he was whistled for a foul. As I'm not sure who that is, but it looks like a Fowler fan is not loving that, to say the least.
Yes, the Fowler faithful are not happy with that
Yelling
one.
at our hall monitor, Mr. Marrero, who has no stake in this game. I don't know why he was the target.
Yes, all he can do is laugh and smile.
Smile and wave, smile and wave. Trent Hughes sinks it once again, continuing his dominant performance from the line. 8 for 9, hoping to make it 9 for 10. Nope, spoke too soon.
Cannot do that.
As
There
Wellington
goes
pushes the pace.
Oh, they finally get one!
He did it!
Fowler from way downtown! But it is too late, my friends. A bit of an unnecessary reaction from us in the booth, but when that is only your second three-pointer on the night after shooting, what, 17? It calls for celebration.
We have found Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen.
It is not an urban myth.
If you thought Fowler wasn't going to hit a 3 for the rest of this game, I am so sorry. Your bet is absolutely cooked.
I'm sure there are a lot of betting men and women out there who put some big money on Fowler not to make a 3 in the last minute or so. But I'm sorry, that is an absolute terrible beat for you and your folks.
As Stickle is now 8 for 8 from the free throw line.
Ice in his veins, Anthony Stickle. How do you do?
Stick is slick.
Once again,
we always knew it.
No surprise here. One of the most consistent players JD has seen all year. Always know what you're going to get from Stickle. A lot of free throws. He leads the team with 17 points. Very big night from Stickle. Very big week from Stickle, considering he had 20 points earlier in this week's win versus Cortland.
And we are hoping to wind this stream down, wind this game down the only way we know how, which is with a JD victory. With 24.4, Jeff Ike gets one final talking to with his boys. And hopefully, I don't think Fowler are going to run out this last 24, but this will likely be their final possession.
And one thing pointed out to us up here, not really an impact anymore on this game, but Spencer Wellington has had a huge half. He has 22 points this second half.
And here is number 3, that is going to be Darian Clark muscling around. Fowler aren't quitting yet, but here's Spencer Wellington again. And just
Nothing
like that.
but backboard, but the and one. Fowler's pretty hyped up right now. This game, they have new life. This game's not over.
Just like that, we regress to the mean. Spencer Wellington, was it ever a doubt? Any Fowler player really is just throwing up bricks from their hands. But hey, this game is not done yet. Darian Clark at the line. And yeah, we all knew he was going to miss that one, unfortunately. Same man that, not the same man that airballed. But this game will tick down. JD doesn't even get a chance to inbound.
Fowler is absolutely ecstatic in a negative way on the sideline.
And that will conclude this game for JD against Fowler. The final score being 51-48 for the second JD TV broadcast of 2023. And Ian, who stands out to you from JD as the player of the game?
Ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, you all could have guessed it. Anthony Stickle was the player of this game. 17 points, handling the ball very well up the court. A lot of defensive stops. Nothing more you could ask for from one of your captains.
Anthony Stickle, the conductor, conducting his orchestra of teammates to a commanding victory. And that will do it for this JD TV broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've had a ton of viewers tonight. We could not have asked for a better turnout, both in the gym and online. And on behalf of everyone here on the JD TV team, some of which you will be hearing in a broadcast not too far in the future, Will Cooper, Luke McQuaid, Aaron Coe taking the camera responsibilities and the statistician responsibilities. Ian McIntyre, thank you so much for joining me as my color commentary partner.
Thank you so much for having me, Mikey. What an electric game once again here at JD.
And as always, I am Michael Meskos, one of the many voices of the Red Rams. We will see you very soon for the next JD TV broadcast. And as always, have a great night wherever you may be.